Building the core of your coaching business. Hey, what's up, Awakened Leader? Welcome to another episode on Niche to Nations podcast. I'm your host, Angelica Stanley, and I'm so excited you're joining me today for a special series where we dive into building your coaching business with clarity, purpose, and action. This is part of our 21-day coaching business challenge where we'll be walking through week one, the foundations and clarity section using the ultimate coaching business planner. So, whether you're just getting started or need to revisit your foundations, this episode will give you actionable steps to build a solid foundation for your coaching business. Now, if this sounds like something you're ready for, let's get started. You're called to write your testimony and you're ready to get started. Join us as we are equipping, training, and empowering you to build a life. Welcome. Alrighty, Awakened Leaders. So getting started really quick. I'm excited to chat with you about defining your why. Now, defining your why in this section can sometimes be difficult because we get so busy with all of the bells and whistles that we just don't stop or take the time to stop and just smell the roses, so to speak. Okay. So every successful coach has a clear understanding of their why. Now you might be saying, Angelica, I'm called to more. I'm not just a coach. I'm this, I'm that. Well, great. Let's humble ourselves and learn business skills and then learn to be faithful with little, and then God can trust you with more. Okay. So the deep-rooted purpose that drives a coach or a mentor or a speaker or a minister, this drives you to show up every single day. Okay. So in today's world, there are countless business ideas, but the most successful entrepreneurs have clarity about what they're truly passionate about. Now, I understand that we can have all of these multiple avenues of what we're called to do. But if you're throwing a net out and you're not catching any fish, from my personal experience, it's because I didn't learn how to fish using a fishing pole. Therefore, I probably didn't even learn how to bait the hook or know if the bait is right for the water or that type of fish. Okay. So I want to give you an actionable step. Okay. I want you to think about your why in actually this. I want you to think about why you started your coaching journey, why you believe that you've been trying to do this, why you believe God is calling you to do this, but look at your entire journey. What core values or experiences led you here, right? So look at your core values, your character, what you stand for, and those experiences that have gotten you to this very point. I want you to take a moment to jot down your why in your planner, which you can get the coaching business planner by clicking the link in the description of this podcast. And for $7, you can go along the journey, but get more in-depth support tied to this podcast, as well as joining us inside of the group of our community group at Niche to Nation. So I'll go ahead and leave all that information below. But there's jam-packed support for the next 21 days of this. This podcast is just the week's like overview of everything, okay? So think of it as me giving you that weekly coaching video or that weekly audio to support you. The group community is in the group, and then you also have your workbook should you decide to invest, where you can package everything or just use your journal, okay? But you're going to take a moment to jot down your why in your planner or your notebook, and this will become the compass of everything you do in your business, okay? Pray about this. What is God telling you? I want to leave you with this question for this section. Why did you start your business, and how does it align with your faith, family, and life goals? Why did you start your business, And how does it align with your faith, family, and life goals? So transitioning really quick, I want to take you into the next portion of this, and we're going to be identifying your dream business. Now, identifying your dream business can kind of feel overwhelming. Okay. Did you hear that deep breath that I took? Now that you've defined your why, let's move into visualizing your dream coaching business by imagining your perfect coaching business, right? I want you to imagine, close your eyes. Well, if you're driving, don't do that. But just visualize, okay, your perfect dream coaching business. Do you want to take one client? Do you want to have one client a month? Do you want to onboard a client a week? Do you like really visualize what this looks like? Are you just coaching with, one-on-one, or are you doing something like I do? I have a podcast. I create digital products like this coaching business planner. I'm coaching you through this. I created a group, and you have the option of working with me one-on-one, but that is separate to you still getting coaching, right? So there's different ways of coaching. What does that ideal coaching look like for you? Okay. So then I want you to think about, who are you helping and what kind of transformation are you creating for your clients? Are you a health coach? Are you a mindset coach? Okay. Well, let's think you're a health coach. Well, what do you specialize in health? Maybe you're a recovery coach. Maybe you're a macro coach. Maybe you're a diabetes coach. Maybe you're a well, let's say this. Maybe you're an addiction coach. Maybe you help your clients healthily heal as they're coming away from their addiction. Maybe you're providing natural supplementation and fitness as they are coming out of addiction. Okay. What does that look like? Right. So then now now I want you to think about this. We just came from visualizing what that looks like. So if you're an active fitness coach who has a powerful testimony of how God delivered you from addiction of drugs, alcohol, food, whatever that is, and how you supplemented, do you see how you're kind of paving the way? Like it's naturally your testimony is niching down for you, right? So I want to give you this actionable step. As you are looking at the transformation you are creating for your clients, right? You're creating healing through the addiction detox phase, or however that is, right? Actionable steps. I want you to write down the details of your dream coaching business. How do you want to be seen by your clients? What niche do you serve? And I want you to understand this. The clearer you are, the more aligned your actions will be. Okay. The clearer you are, the more aligned your actions will be. I want to challenge you with this. Think about how your dream business aligns with your values and your mission. Okay. So this is kind of like that reflection going back. Everything is a stepping stone on each other. Okay. So how does this dream business align, and the transformation that you have and everything that we just talked about and identifying your dream business? How does that align with your values and your missions when we talked about your why? Okay. Write a sentence about that. What makes it unique and impactful? Why is this unique? Why is this impactful? How is this different than what you're seeing on the online space or even in your community? Imagine you getting this together and being able to go to a pastor or some ministers in a church and be like, hey, I want to run a 5-week coaching program that I've created. I want to charge $20 a person in the church, and they're going to get a digital download. Why am I sharing that with you? That's exactly what I do with workshops at Well Valley, and we put them in various areas of where the need is. Okay. I'm teaching you based on I've done certain things. And I want you to know that God has called you to be a light in a dark place. God is changing the way he's doing church because people really need to get outside of the four walls of the church and just showing up on Sundays or Creasters, Christmas and Easter, and actually going out and being a light in a dark place. Actually, like, you have that fire inside of you is like, Lord, use me, but how do I even get started? I'm helping you get the foundations and the clarity for your coaching business, quote unquote, because, Paul was a minister, right? Paul was a minister, but Paul also was a tent maker. You think Paul wasn't ministering as he was building tents? He was an entrepreneur. He was a laborer. We have Peter, fisherman turned into a fisher of men. You think he didn't know how to fish or God didn't use him to fish? God even told him during tax season to go out to the water because he knew how to fish. God sent a big fish with a big coin to pay taxes for everybody. There's still those concepts in business and the way we do things that God is utilizing for you to go into the lane that he's highlighted and paved for you. And that's why we got to niche down, not just in business, but learning these things and principles to, sell digital products and to, package those devotionals or even this coaching planner that I have. It's created for a purpose and it helps you. So the next point that I want to talk to you about is pinpointing your niche. Okay. So it's important to get specific about your niche. There is, let me say it this way. This is where many coaches struggle. I was going to say there's a struggle, but I'm going to say this is where many coaches struggle. You're trying to serve everyone. Can I tell you, my friend listening right now, you are not Walmart. Okay. You are Estee Lauder Clinique in Nordstrom. Okay. Like, I'm not trying to give you a bigger head than you probably already have. Like, can I just be real with you? Like, I'm speaking to you like how, like, okay, just hear me, but walk humbly in that, right? So you're not Walmart, you're Target, right? You may be Target called to serve the clients in Dollar Tree. Okay. I shop at Dollar Tree. No shame in my game. Okay. Here's what I'm saying. This is where many coaches struggle because they're trying to serve everyone. I just want you to focus on one. Okay. Here's the thing. The more specific you get, the better your chances of standing out in a market and attracting the right clients. Okay. There's tons of fish in the sea, right? And there's tons of people. And these people have a specific diet. Maybe their diet is to eat fish, right? They have to eat fish. But they don't like shrimp. And you serve shrimp. That's not your people. Okay? They want trout or they want salmon. Give them salmon. Is this making sense? Okay. I know this is kind of like packing some punches here and I'm being very direct, but I want you to break down those things about I'm like everywhere, but nowhere. Like you're everywhere, but nowhere. that doesn't work. Like pave the lanes. And there is a way to have multiple lanes. There is a way of having multiple streams of income. There is a way of doing all of those things. Trust me. Okay. I do it. I run the podcast. I have angelicastanley.co. We have the group. We have different things. I have Break Time Hustle Mama. I have those different things. But I have to be focused and hyper, quote unquote, hyper focused in that lane. I'm talking to you about niche nations. I have to stay on niche nations. If you have to know your audience, you have to build that stamina and the self-control and the discipline to focus on that. Okay. So I have a dear sister of mine who's in beauty, branding, and basically leadership. Okay. And so those are three lanes that, yes, they could all have different business levels and layers, but it's essential that she's honed in and brought it all together because it serves the one person. That is the importance of pinpointing your niche. Okay. So I want to give you this actionable step. Ask yourself what you are good at, what you are passionate about, and how you can combine those two. What are you good at? Okay. Are you good at teaching? Are you good at doing makeup? Are you good at listening? Are you good at cooking? Okay. Now, what are you passionate about? Well, I'm passionate about people being delivered or people losing weight or people coming away from drugs and alcohol. I'm passionate about, people being debt free. I'm passionate about it's like, and I use the word passion like loosely because I know context of the Bible, it kind of like, your passions can lead you. Okay. No, I'm talking about like that fire burning down deep in your soul. That's like, this is my calling. Like I'm passionate about speaking, or I'm good at speaking, but I'm passionate about people packaging their testimony so that there is clarity when they're communicating to leaders and people in the church. You have to remember that when you show up to a church and you're speaking to quote unquote elders or leaders in the church, they don't have time to listen to you ramble, mumble, jamble about what God is calling you to do. I know that sounds rude, but I'm just telling you in a way that you can understand that they deal with 100,000 of people, right? Now, theoretically, when you're going to a pastor, you would think like that's what they're supposed to do, right? They're supposed to hear you, okay? Well, yes, they're supposed to leave the 99 and focus on the one, right? But today's pop culture church and the bigness of church, it's all commercialized. It's all business run. I've seen a problem in that, right? And so what I'm encouraging you to do is don't be afraid to get narrow, right? Don't be afraid to go narrow is the gate. Everyone else is doing what obviously God is not saying is correct, okay? Wide is the path that leads to destruction. Narrow is the gate. How can you start serving in that narrow gate? How can you start serving and doing the things and really look at it in this way? You're being a minister in the church. The pastor has the role. The evangelist has their role, the prophet, the apostle, the teacher, the fivefold ministry has their role, but how can you start being the church, a disciple, and going out and not being afraid to narrow down or niche down? All of these ministries, when you show up, like there's certain churches, they have, workshops or, ministries or coaches or teachers and all of these different things that you could show up and you can get in this group here and get in that group. What if this is teaching you how to do that? Not what if, this is what it is. The right clients will resonate with your specific message. Don't be afraid to narrow down. If you're called to serve in the realm of addiction, what is your pinpoint, right? Maybe you're the 10-day breakthrough addiction coach, helping clients bust through that 10-day window of relapse, right? Maybe you're the 90-day rehab coach. Maybe you're the 30-day rehab coach and everything compiled. I hope you hear what I'm saying, okay? There is power in that. Your pastor, your leader, your minister may have a plethora of experience in working with people in addiction, but they're so like the weight that they carry of the responsibility of the sheep, they are probably crying out like, Lord, I just need help. They're not getting a breakthrough in 10 days. They keep relapsing. What is this roadblock? And here you come, not afraid to narrow down and you're like, hey, pastor, I want to do a workshop or a course about the 10-day breakthrough coming out of addiction. And he's like, I have 20 clients for you. How much do you charge? Well, you just say, I'll just charge for the workbook. It's $27 a workbook. Do you see what I'm saying? And you're giving your ministering time, but they're paying for the workbook that you create, or that I teach you how to do a digital download or self-publish inside of Prep to Publish. Okay? Now, we're going to go in for the last 10 minutes of this, and I want to talk to you about communicating your message. Your message is everything. So if you had to speak every day for 30 days, what would you talk about? This isn't just about what you're good at, but what your ideal client needs to hear from you. Okay? An actionable step that I have for you is spend time creating your message today. Okay? In the planner, there's a space for you to write down your core message and think about how you want to communicate your expertise to the world. Okay? So if you were to give me 30 seconds to talk about one thing, or let's say you called me and you were like, hey, Angelica, I'd like you to be a guest speaker at our church or at this women's event, and I really want you to speak, pray about it. Well, I already know what my key things are to talk about, right? The power in your testimony, the fruit of the Spirit, deliverance by the power of the Holy Spirit, and awakening into leadership. Okay? And so I can take that topic and formulate it to whatever it is that they're leading with, right? A women's retreat, whatever the title is, however that. And I know my story so much, and I know the power of my testimony and what God has given me, that I'm able to take that and formulate that into serving the greater good of what God is doing in that season and serving the church. Your message doesn't have to be perfect right away, okay? So it will evolve over time as you continue serving your clients, but starting with clarity is key. And it'll evolve and it'll grow as, you help one person and they give you feedback. Your language will start to change. Oh, I'm going to hone in on this, or, oh, that didn't really resonate with them. Okay. The last thing that I want to share with you is values-driven business. A values-driven business. One of the things that set faith-driven coaches apart is how we integrate our personal values into business. Your clients will feel the difference when your business is aligned with your core beliefs. Okay. So the actionable step that I have for you on this is I want you to reflect on how your values are infused into your business. How do you treat your clients? Okay. How do you make decisions about your services and your pricing? Okay. Write it down in your planner and your business that are aligned with your core values. Now, I understand a lot of gurus will say, charge what you're worth and go make that money. Somebody who's struggling with addiction, do you really think they're going to have $4,000 to work with you? I honestly believe that we get so focused on the money that you can really tell a person's mindset and where their heart is when they're actually like serving people. If we carry the mindset of, oh, well, you're not being paid what you're worth, or we're not charging what you're worth, there's no amount of, if you truly believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for you and rose on the third day, then you being a lender, not a borrower, is no different than you serving the poor and the Lord giving you your reward. Do you want your reward to be that monetary gain, or do you want your reward? People will see that. Now, I'm not saying don't charge for your things, but a workbook that you created for $27, that is more feasible for someone who's going through addiction, because for one, they got skin in the game, but it's also an opportunity that if they want to work with you one-on-one, like Paul, to build that tent, how much do you think Paul would have charged for a tent during that time? To the people that live in tents. Hello. See, there are things that we need to think about, biblical concepts. So your values drive your business. Okay. So Write in your planner or your notebook how your business is aligned with your core values. Now, I have a question for you. How will you incorporate your faith and your values into your business model? What does that look like? Now, lastly, defining your ideal client. One of the most important steps in growing a coaching business is defining who you want to work with. Who is your dream client? What are their, I say pain points, but what are the things that they're crying out to God? What are they like asking, praying to God for? Like, God, they're not saying like, I got to get my A1C right. Like, they're not, I don't mean, maybe there is someone out there. I don't know. Like, they're not saying, Lord, I just got to be stronger for this detox. Like, what is the language, right, that they have? So you look at their pain points to kind of say, well, they're struggling with their blood sugar, or they're struggling with cortisol, they're struggling with addiction, they're struggling with, being a peaceful parent, okay? They're struggling in their marriage, right? But what is the language that they're saying? Okay. The more you understand them, the easier it will be to attract and serve them. I'm not saying attract like the law of attraction. I'm saying attraction marketing. It's a tool, it's been around forever, but it's more about speaking what's resonating to them. An example of this biblically is when you lead by the power of the Holy Spirit. Jesus was speaking to everyone, right? And he knew that everyone was hurting for, I can imagine, right? He's Jesus. So he knows everybody's hurting. He knows all of these things are happening. And he starts talking about the Beatitudes. Principles, values. How is that speaking to your ideal client in a broken place that encourages them? I can do this, and I got to get better at this. Oh, wow, I'm not as far gone as I thought. When you truly know who your ideal client is, your marketing and messaging will become laser focused, and you'll start attracting the right people, the ones that you're called to serve. My language is very direct and very, I kind of sometimes people will, so I've been told that I'm very prideful, that I'm all of this, but really it's because I'm called to work with leaders, and I'm called to address certain things in leaders, developing leaders, because I know that you're going to be addressing and communicating with people who have been in the church for a long time, and they run church like business. They don't run church like kingdom. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of snakes, a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. You got to have some thick skin, but not in a bad way, more like Paul being shipwrecked, going to Malta, starting a fire for the people, getting bit by a snake, and people saying, oh, that snake didn't kill him, in the name of Jesus. Okay. That's who I'm talking to. Okay. I'm talking to the Pauls of this time that are going to be the light in a dark place. Okay. So I want to wrap this up for you in a few steps and give you some next steps. This is week 1 of the Coaching Business Challenge inside of Niche to Nations community group. So we've covered some powerful foundational exercises today, from defining your why to identifying your niche and ideal clients. Take time to reflect and work through the prompts in the Coaching Business Planner. You can click the link below to get started, okay? Next week, we'll dive into goal setting and planning for success. We'll talk about how to set smart and wise goals for your business, manage your time, and create your roadmap that will guide your coaching journey. Okay. Remember, this journey is about growth, spiritual, personal, and professional. Stay connected with our Niche to Nations community on Facebook. Okay, inside of our group, you can just search Niche to Nations on Facebook, the group, and we'll be posting daily prompts to keep you on track. And if you haven't already, you can go ahead and grab your copy of the Ultimate Coaching Business Planner to follow along. $7 down below. Get started. The purchase of this helps us sponsor workshops in the church. Okay. Until next time, keep moving forward with clarity and purpose. Okay? God bless you on your journey. I love you, and I'll